12 races through the regular season, 12 races to go, and the second half of the regular season kicks off with a road course at the Circuit Gilles Villneuve in Montreal. It's the only time this season we'll be racing outside of the United States, so this will be a big one for these 42 drivers to want to win. Who will master the tricky turns of Montreal? We'll find out after 20 laps right here on JRTV. Welcome everyone to Montreal, Quebec in Canada for the NAPA Auto Parts 300 from the Circuit Gilles Villneuve. I'm Joe Rakowski, Trey Bardo alongside me in the booth. Trey's the second road course race of the season. The first one of the season saw an underdog winner, Anthony Hernandez for Atlanta Motorsports, get to victory lane. But here today, a lot of big name drivers, big name teams starting at the front. You have Keegan Thompson in Tucson Racing with Brian Rodriguez, his teammate. Nathan Stapleton for Otter Island. Gabe Willard for Southern Cross. Jude Martinelli for Foss Autosport. The big names have come to play here at the road course in Montreal.
Yeah, definitely, and I don't think we're surprised. A road course is a technical track, and we know that the drivers that are all starting up front here are some of the best behind the wheel, and it seems like they are coming here to prove that right here. And I think, Joe, that this is going to be a fantastic race up here in Canada.
Yeah, I hope it is for the Canadian fans. It's the only time this season we go international, so I hope we can make it a good one. I hope the 42 drivers out there can make it a good one. We don't have any say in what happens, but hopefully the 42 drivers down there on the racetrack can make it something fun, and I think it could be a fun one, especially as I mentioned, there's a lot of big-name drivers, big-name teams at the front, which could create some very great battling and circumstances throughout this 20-lap race. And I want to give a shout-out to one of the teams out there. We had Evan in the booth for the All-Star Open, and Evan Hunter, owner of EKH Enterprises, he put all three cars inside the top 10 to start here at Montreal. You have Roberto Crown Jr. up there just behind Riley Spurleytube. Spurleytube starts 6th, Crown Jr. starts in 8th, and then Justin Zeidel, their other teammate, starts just around, 9th or so. So EKH Enterprises, Zeidel got pulled for Road America for that team. Riley Spurleytube ran well there as well, but here today, Trey, they have all three cars starting inside the top 10 at a track where track position means oh so much.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, road courses are as important as short tracks with track position, so we'll have to see how these first couple of corners go, see when everyone gets settled in, and that's going to be the time that we really tell who is the fastest here, and if anything can be done in terms of lead changes or position changes once these guys get single filed out. But I mean, that just means that the first couple of corners are going to be the most.
And let's give a shout out, Trey, to the winner of the All-Star race, the only driver who knows he is automatically in the chase no matter what happens through these final 12 regular season races. Matt Tuck starts 16th here today. Not the best starting spot for a road course, but pretty decent. And Trey, even though Matt Tuck is locked in, has that second wildcard spot locked up no matter what he does for the rest of the regular season, something he really wants to do is gain points, get up inside the top 10 so that he can use those wins and maybe even get some extra bonus points to try and get himself in a better position to start the chase. So even though Matt Tuck is locked in, he's still going for wins, and if anything, he can just focus on wins rather than just points now.
Yeah, I mean, he can take all the risks now, right? I mean, he doesn't have to, kind of play it safe and try to point his way in. He is, guaranteed. So he can take all the gambles and not really, think twice about it. Well, I mean, you're going to think twice about it. But in terms of, whether or not it's going to risk his chase standings, no, not really. So we'll have to see if they change their mindset at all and what all comes out with that.
Something that All-Star win did, though, is at the moment, there's only one wildcard spot now instead of two. So it could be dangerous times for drivers that were trying to bank on that. Now you have to either have multiple wins or be super high in points. So it's going to be a fascinating run to the chase now that Matt Tuck is in that second wildcard spot at the moment. If he moves up, then things could change. But at the moment, it's a very narrow path to try and get one of those wildcard spots into the postseason. We're going to start to get these guys rolling off. It is a long pace here at Montreal. It's about 3.5 minutes. It's a 2.71 mile racetrack, so there's a whole lot of turns to go through, 14 turns, and it's a long one. So these 42 cars are firing up, and Keegan Thompson will lead them off the starting grid. That number 6 is on pole. Beside him is Nathan Stapleton. So the front row, two drivers that have not yet won this season. Could they possibly get their first victory of the season here at Montreal? Well, it's a good chance. You have that starting position, have that track position, and We'll see if either Keegan or Stapleton can get their first victories of the season. Stapleton comes in only 9 points off of the points leader, and Jerry Chen starts outside the top 25 here today. So this could be a big day for Nathan, both in terms of maybe a race victory and in terms of possibly getting to the points lead, because even his teammate Laura Chung doesn't start that well, and Chung comes in third in the points. So it could be a big points day for the driver starting in second. Could be a big points day for the driver starting in fourth as well. Brian Rodriguez comes in fourth in the points and only 16 points back of Jerry Chen. So it could be a big day for Brian Rodriguez. Beside him, Gabe Willard starts this race in third. Remember, got that win at Kansas. He was looking pretty good last time out in the All-Star race. Wants to see, can he keep this track position? Willard currently comes in ninth in the points, so he needs a good one here today. And rounding out the top 5 is Jude Martinelli, that number 94 from Full Sauna Sport, really starting to move up in the points. He gained 5 spots after the last race. He's up to 14th, and Jude Martinelli could be a threat to win here today, and if not win, possibly get a good finishing position, move himself up even further in the point standings. And speaking of point standings, Keegan Thompson is on pole. He comes in 10th in points, so he needs to be perfect through the rest of the regular season, because at the moment, as mentioned, the wild card position, the wild card picture is very, very narrow. Keegan only comes in 3 points out of 11th. Eli Brighton. Funny enough for Keegan, his 5 top 5s this season are his only 5 top 10s, so maybe he can continue that trend with a good starting spot here today. Well, now the Gatorade starting grid will start to roll at the left side of the screen. Let's get to our picks to win. Trey, we've been close this season, and it's still close in our season averages. Your average is 10th, my average is 10.83. I get to go first because my driver finished third at Vermont, yours finished second. And for my pick, I'm taking Jude Martinelli in the 94, starts in 5th. I think he can bring it to victory lane and get his first victory of the 2025 season. Trey, who are you taking here today?
Go one spot ahead of you here, the 62 of Brian Rodriguez. We just talked about him. Well, you talked about him in the going through the top 5 there. He needs a good day to continue moving up at the points. He's sitting 4th right now, and I think, you know, this is where he's going to do. He's going to get a good start here, make up a couple of positions, and go battle for this lead here in Montreal.
All right, so there are our picks, both starting inside the top 5. We'll see if one of them can get to victory lane. They'll have to pass some cars to do it, but it is possible here at Montreal, especially with how many chicanes there are. It's a unique racetrack, and as we look at the DeWalt track facts, we can see that 2.71 miles in length. This is a 20-lap race, and the fuel window is just about the midway point, 10 to 11 laps. We'll see if any strategy unfolds throughout this race. There is a good bit of tire wear, about a second and a half of fall off after a long green flag run, so watch for that. Maybe an undercut could get some time, and especially when you're on cold tires leaving pit road, that could be a detriment as well. It's a 14-turn road course. 8 of them are to the right, 6 are to the left, and a lot of them are from those chicanes. You get a quick right-left because of the chicanes. Well, here goes the pace car into pit road, and it's going to be left in the hands of Keegan Thompson and Nathan Stapleton. This race could be won on the jump for the initial start. We'll see who gets the better jump, who gets to the lead into the first chicane, turns 1 and 2. Thompson on the gas, he gets away, the green flag is waving in Montreal. Back there already, William Seaman, I think he locked up the brakes through that first chicane. Mathis Wells went through the grass as well. William was the only one to go around, and now as they enter into, you can see how slow they're going. Little grip out there, and everyone trying to get through these chicanes. See Brian Rodriguez trying to get to third over Gabe Willard. Riley Spurgeon getting a spot off of Jude Martinelli as everyone snakes through this very technical portion. Stapleton looking for the lead on Thompson, maybe contact made.
They are going to keep it clean here. Stapleton actually, how did he make that work on the outside right there, Joe? That was really impressive, but he's going to have the run going down this little straight here as they're going to come up to a right-hander, so Stapleton's got to get himself clear if he wants the advantage, which he's going to do, maybe, yes.
Power move for Nathan Stapleton to get to the lead. He did not have it on that start. Thompson kind of left him away, but right there, Stapleton made that lunge into that one chicane, and he made it work. Now we're coming up to the hairpin. This is another big passing opportunity, a hard braking corner. Stapleton does it well. Keegan Thompson right with him. Brian Rodriguez is Thompson's teammate in 3rd. Gabe Willard 4th. Spraytube in 5th. Jude Martinelli currently in 6th with Bryce Egan 7th. Crown Jr. 8th. Zidell 9th. Eli Bright in 10th. Torres is 11th. Strickland 12th. Jericho 13th. Stout 14th. And Lord Chung in 15th. So most of the field keeping their positions at the front, but the position change that was the biggest was Nathan Stapleton to the lead over Keegan Thompson as we enter into the final chicane, 13 and 14. Nathan Stapleton is going to lead the first lap of the NAPA Auto Parts 300. This is big for him. Remember, he led a lot of laps at Road America, had a bad pit stop, though. That's what cost him the race victory there. So we know he's good at these road courses, and he He's shown it here on lap number 1, getting that pass made on Keegan Thompson.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see what he can do this time around at this road course, as Keegan Thompson's going to try to fight him back, but he's getting challenged there by Rodriguez. Sorry, I ran out of breath there. That was a little weird. But right now we're looking at Spurley Tube, who's sitting in 5th place as he's trying to pull away from your pick, Joe, Jude Martinelli, who can't tell if he's struggling or just trying to get the car underneath him right now.
Yeah, it looks like he is struggling a little bit. Bryce Egan all over his back bumper. Right here, this is a big passing opportunity. We saw Stapleton make the pass. If you kind of look out, you can maybe take the guy in front off guard, but right there, Bryce Egan was staying patient, didn't want to force a move. And you can see at the front, Stapleton is pulling away from Thompson. He's getting away a little bit from his teammate Brian Rodriguez, who has his hands full with Gabe Willard, and Riley Spurgeon starting to make some ground up in the 28 as well. Martinelli fending off Egan for now. Then you have Crown Jr., Zidell, and Eli Bright. That's the top 10. As we look back through, and Trey, it was a mostly clean start. We saw William Seaman in the background in the first few corners. He maybe had some wheel hop, locked up the brakes, something along the lines of that, but he was able to get back going. Unfortunately, he fell all the way back to the tail end of the field, but look, he's already caught back up.
Yeah, it's, I hate to say it, but I think he's a little used to doing that, so he it looks like he has got some back-end damage, so it makes me wonder if he was maybe run into and didn't really have a choice about spinning there, but we'll have to see as these guys are still battling it out here, trying to go around the outside. Don't know if that's going to work out too well. You know what? I stand correct.
I think there's a little bit more grip, right? With the wider radius, you can just get on the gas a little bit better than the guy on the inside who's still trying to keep his corner going. So a great move for Alex Vitale there, getting around Matthew Burnett on the outside of the hairpin. That's once again a big passing opportunity. But all 42 cars still, out there on the racetrack, and besides William Seaman, I think most of them are pretty clean. Stapleton still leads this race by about a second over Keegan Thompson. Ryan Rodriguez still hanging tough there in 3rd place. And obviously, it's a road course, and we're early on. People are just trying to get their feel for it, so not much to talk about at the moment. But once we get into this run and tires start to wear out, and then we get closer to pit stops, that's when stuff can easily start to blow up, and the lid could come off the pot here. Here's a decent battle between Jordan Stout and Matt Tuck. This is for about 14th place. Matt Tuck actually got a spot from Laura Chung as Chris Jericho's looking on Philip Torres. That's Chung's teammate. He'll try and make it around the outside of that chicane. He's going to get nice grip, but now the problem is he's going to be side-by-side on the outside heading into this right-hander for the next chicane. Trey, this is just a racetrack of straights and chicanes, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it seems simple, it sounds simple, but it's anything but. As you can see, Jericho's actually in the dirt there. He's still going to make it work for the most part. He'll be on the outside, but we just saw that it can work. But yeah, a lot of straights, a lot of chicanes, and it's still somehow one of the toughest road courses that these drivers will experience. So we'll have to see how everyone fares here today, as you see Jericho is still battling hard with Torres, as he's finally going to be able to get the run off corner and exit and complete that pass.
This is the day Jericho needs to be good. He comes in 22nd in the points, near the inside the top 20. But with Matt Tuck locking up a chase spot and maybe taking up a wild card spot at the end of the regular season, we'll just have to see how that plays out. Jericho's in a bad position with how slow the start to his season was. He needs to be perfect for the rest of the season, whether it be to get the points required to get up inside the top 10. He's been strong enough to do that this season, or whether it be to win races, try and get a wild card spot. Jericho needs to be perfect. And a 12th place run for Jericho is a decent points day for him at the moment. As we mentioned, Matt Tuck got by Laura Chung to get to 15th, Chung in 16th, with Max Davis looking to her inside, as that could be a good battle, but Chung gets the run off of the chicane to get away from Max Davis a little bit. At the front, the lead's still about the same. 1.2 seconds separates race leader Nathan Stapleton from the number 6 of Keegan Thompson out the front, and Ryan Rodriguez trying to get closer to his teammate Keegan Thompson. With Gabe Willard there still in 3rd. Riley Spur, or in 4th, excuse me. Riley Spur still hanging tough in 5th, and I think Riley, Trey, might be faster than the 2 cars in front. It's just hard to make passes work at a track like Montreal, but I definitely think Riley Spur is a pretty good car as they stand at the moment, and could be fast enough to challenge depending on how things work out.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see what all develops here, as he's still chasing down the 27 of Willard. It looks like he's going to try to dive bomb here, maybe just try to peek the nose, show that the 62 that, hey, I got some speed back here, don't forget about me. But so far, nothing has happened yet, as everyone is single file through the hairpin. Matt Tuck making his way through the field. Joe, you got to think, like we mentioned before the race started, that he's got weight lifted off of his shoulder here, so he can just go out there and perform the best of his abilities and really just kind of get as many spots as he can and pad had his confirmed, spot a little bit more.
And that's another spot he just gained on this lap. He's up to 14th, again by Jordan Stout there. So he now has his sights set on Philip Torres. And Max Davis did get around Laura Chung as well in that lap. So some good battling right here around 15th place. Max Davis just took 16th from Laura Chung. Chung back to 17th. It's kind of been a slow start to her race. See up the road there, Bryce Egan going wide. Oh, Eli Bright just blew up!
Eli!
Oh, no.
Oh, well, I don't like seeing that, Joe.
No, and Jordan Stout didn't like seeing that because he kind of got held up as well. Max Davis and Laura Chung going to be right on him, but this is a bad track to have a mechanical issue at, especially at the start of a lap. He has to go all the way around this 2.71 mile racetrack. You can see he is just trying to pull off, and he's actually going to stop.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to turn it around.
Oh.
Don't think you're allowed to turn it around.
No, he's just stopping right there.
Yep.
He's going to let the marshals come out and get him.
Gonna have to dissect that engine whenever we get back to the shop.
Yep, and there was a lot of passing that happened up in front of that. Gabe Willard's gotten to third around Brian Rodriguez, and Jude Martinelli's gotten to fifth around Riley Spruitube. So some position changing there. In fact, Spruitube under fire now from Bryce Egan, who's coming at him. So a lot of stuff happening there. I don't think any of it was caused by Eli, because Eli was back around 10th. And see how they really jam up into this hairpin here. Roberto Crown Jr. nearly got to the back of Bryce Egan and able to keep it off. Good day still for EKH Enterprises. They had all three cars start inside the top 10, and they're still running that way. In fact, I think they're running where they started, 6th, 8th, and 9th. So they haven't made any progress, but they haven't lost anything either. That's a good thing. Bryce Egan, though, is pushing Riley Spruitube up into this final chicane. He is all over the back bumper. He's going to let off to let Riley make the corner, but Egan's saying, hey, listen, Riley, you need to either get in gear or I'm going to pass you because I'm right here and I'm faster and I'm not here to just play around.
No, definitely. And Spurley, he feels the pressure right now, so he has to be perfect with his marks, because if not, the 18 and the 20, 38, they're all going to be able to jump on his position here. You see the 18 maybe pushing a little bit too much there as he missed the corner, as well as the 38 and possibly Jericho as well. All pushed a little too hard there.
Riley blocked Egan there. And now Bryce is messing up because I think he might be a little mad at what happened. He's going wide there through the chicane. Nearly got into the wall. But meanwhile, while all this is happening, Trey, Nathan Stapleton is lights out and away. He is now up to a 2.7 second lead over his nearest competition. This stack up here is allowing Philip Torres maybe to get a spot back from Chris Jericho. That's for 11th place. And Torres is going to take it, and Matt Tuck saying, all right, I'm coming through too. Matt Tuck is he's flying through the field at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what shows you that once you get that weight lifted off your shoulder, Joe, things change all over as these two are still going at it. They're going to get a big company behind them there as finally Bryce Egan was able to pass Riley Spurley. Riley Spurley's going to lose a couple more spots here as he did not get a good corner exit, Joe. I think he touched the grass as well, but we'll have to see if he can get that advantage on the outside.
It's all three of Evan Hunter's cars right there together. Riley Spurley in the middle of Crown Jr. and Justin Zeidel. Jericho and Torres are still battling. Jericho actually got back around Matt Tuck, so a good chicane for him. Got him the spot back. Zeidel's going to pull out and try and pass Riley Spurley as well. So Riley's really struggling at this stage in the race. It looked like at the beginning he was kind of going fast, but I think he maybe wore his stuff out or something along the lines of that, because he's kind of bleeding spots at the moment. And it's not like it's just in one position. It's through the corners, it's down the straights, it's kind of everything for that number 28 car. He's just not performing at the moment. Here comes Lathan Strickland looking for a pass as well.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, this race got really passy. I mean, I don't know if this 28 is struggling so much that it's allowing others to pass behind him and it's just causing a log jam, or if tires are coming into effect, or if these drivers are finally pushing their cars or what, but seems like a switch almost just happened as Torres. I don't know if he just missed a corner there, if he got hit out of the way. Jericho, there's a wall.
Yeah, that was like Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton, if Hamilton would have hit the wall at Canada in 2019. Torres missed the chicane. Jericho tried to go around the outside. There was a wall there, and the wall won. Jericho could not get that pass from Philip Torres. He'll look to try again. That would be for 11th place, so they're fighting for a pretty decent spot there. Torres currently has 11th. Jericho wants it with Riley Spurley in front, holding the top 10. In fact, Philip Torres makes a lunge into the chicane. He's going for a top 10 spot, and he's going to take it around the outside of Riley Spurley. So welcome to the top 10, Philip. And there comes Jericho looking for 11th, and Matt Tuck is basically pushing him by.
Yeah, there's something going on with this 28, Joe. I mean, it does not look like what it did at the beginning of this race. It is absolutely struggling for speed right now. It seems like it cannot get power off of the corners here. As you can see him
Wow.
midway through. He's going to be able to get it here because the 66 looks like he got jammed up a little bit, but something big is going on with Riley Spurley and his number 28.
Well, we saw Eli Bright have a mechanical issue. Is there something wrong with the 28 car that maybe it isn't? Look, it looks like it's down the straightaways too, not just the corners, even down the straightaways. You have to wonder if there is, in fact, yeah, he's pitting now.
Well,
so he's gave up the ghost right there.
Yeah, another case of possible mechanical issues happening here for Riley Spurley, which is not what you want to see, especially when he was inside the top 10, but it was going to happen sooner or later, so you might as well diagnose it now before you blow up an engine, and that's money down the drain.
Yep, exactly. And Eli Bright's issue was confirmed as an accident. I guess your team didn't want to say what it was, so they just told the DeWalt Cup Series officials it was an accident.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing something with your engines that you don't want people to know about?
No. We're not. Jet fuel, maybe. Anyways, there's a race going on, Joe. Did you know that? Keegan Thompson's got a little bit of company here for second place, as he now has Gabe Willard and Brian Rodriguez all over him, as they might have forgotten that Stapleton's out front.
Yeah, 4-second lead for Nathan, and it's just continuing to grow. That number 75 is a fast one, and unless Willard or Rodriguez can get around Keegan, I just don't know if they're going to have time to run down Nathan Stapleton. That lead just keeps growing and growing every lap, and it's not by just a few tenths here and there. It's a chunk of tenths every single lap. Rodriguez just hanging on in fourth. Martinelli all by himself in fifth. Maybe he likes seeing that at the moment. Bryce Egan in sixth. Crown Jr. seventh. Zaydell eighth. Strickland ninth, and Philip Torres final spot inside the top 10 with Jericho 11th, Chuck 12th, Stout 13th, Davis 14th, Lord Chungin 15th. Then you have Jacob Miller has just passed Levi Shones at 16th and 17th. Still Lello's 18th. Wilson 19th. Jack Haas in 20th. Joe Hendry, Tyler Belladonna. Jerry Chen, the points leader, has made some progress. He's gotten up 3 spots from his starting position. We'll see what strategy they can use to try and get even more out of the day. Tim Gary with a solid run. He's just passed Robert Ashford for 24th. Ashford back to 25th. Then you have Drew Webb there in 26th. Bruno Giacomo, Anthony Hernandez, Mathis Wells, and Joshua Cox are the top 30. Then you have Alex Samatale, Angel Gutierrez, Noah Brady, Matthew Burnett, Tegan Fox, Johnny Cox, Cam Wright Jr., Chris Keselowski, Ludovic Charette, William Seaman at the back of the field. Riley Spurley on and off of pit road on the 28. He's approaching the hairpin now. And it's still Nathan Stapleton leading. He opened up his lead by 6 tenths that last time by, so Keegan Thompson has nothing for that number 75 at the moment. Stapleton's just disappearing into the distance. Still looking for that first win of the season. Today could very possibly be the day for that driver of the number 75.
Yo, don't hit them with the commentator's curse now. That'll be not a good thing. I've done it. I've done it before, multiple times. I feel like.
Yeah, I think every commentator has done it at some point, and
yeah.
it would be unfortunate if it happened. But
you remember the first time you did it?
I
remember the first time I did it.
I remember the first time you did it. It was a road course, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and it was probably the best comedic timing you could have done, which sucks to say, because it was not a fun time.
It was through a chicane like this one.
It was. Yeah, it was. And it happened to the leader like we're watching right now.
Yeah.
Except the only difference was it was on the last lap, and I felt really, really bad about it.
Yep. I can't remember the first time I did it, because the first time I did it was probably so long ago. I've been doing this 9 years. It's probably was about 9 years ago,
doesn't it?
Huh? Yeah.
Wow, you're coming up on 10 years this soon already?
Yep.
Man, you're a veteran. How's that make you feel?
Speaking of 10, we're on lap 10, which means, Trey, pit stops are going to be starting. Now, there is something to bring up about this racetrack with pit road, is that there is some sort of penalty that every AI gets entering pit road. What it is, I have no clue. But the only reason we're not having multiple pit stops today is because the second time around, the penalty lasts about 2 minutes. And the penalty is just you sit in your pit box after your pit stall is finished. So, don't be alarmed when pit stops happen and drivers sit on pit road for 30 extra seconds. That's just them, all the AI serving the penalty for whatever infraction they broke, whether it be speeding or commitment line or some sort of shortcut. I don't know. But I tried to figure out what it could have been, and nothing came up. So we'll just deal with every AI sitting in pit road for an extra 30 seconds on their pit stop. How about that?
Well, if you were to give only Stapleton a penalty and no one else, I think he'd still come out the leader, Joe. He is that dominant and that far ahead right now that I think he might get lonely here. So, anyways, we'll have to start to see when everyone starts to come down pit road here, as it's probably one of the most unique pit roads. As it's a long straightaway into a really quick, guess what, chicane. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see what happens here. Stapleton's coming in.
Yep, here he goes.
Oh
So
my goodness, it's got to be a speeding penalty because they fly into there, Joe.
they whip it in, but I mean,
Look at that. Oh, Rodriguez is staying out.
all right, so there's the different strategy. He might want to get a lap lead bonus point here, but I mean, it's hard to say because
it's got to be speeding. I mean, look at the way they Tokyo drift into here.
yeah, Trey, the problem is the so Rodriguez did get to lead a lap. The problem is, Trey, is the pit lane start is the same as other Montreal tracks, and other Montreal tracks don't get speeding penalties. So what could it really be?
I'm trying to think of a way out of it, dude.
Yeah, I know. Well, it looks like we're about half and half here.
Yeah, I mean, they split this up pretty well. We'll have to see how the strategy goes. As you can see,
so there's
yeah, Stapleton's just chilling, getting a refreshment.
yeah, that's a good time for the drivers to just take a break, get a drink.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're just mandatory drink breaks.
Well,
Maybe
let's hope
it's
we don't
not a
have any
penalty.
issues leaving pit road. I don't think I can deal with that again.
No. So Stapleton's going to leave at any moment now. At any moment. There we go.
There it is.
We
All right,
had the
he's good.
stopwatch. So Stapleton leaves. Remember, he came in with like a 5+ second lead. Keegan Thompson had a slow pit stop.
Yeah, he's going to lose second place to Gabe Willard there, as he's going to come off third. Seems like so far everyone else is going to keep the same position
Zidell with
here.
a slower stop. He's going to come up behind Max Davis, who was back around 15th. Zidell's around 9th or so. So slow stop there. There's Riley Spurley, too. He came in early, remember? So he's on better tires. Well, he was on better tires for a little bit. He's actually going to come out about where he pitted. The problem is he's on older tires now, and I don't know if he can make it on fuel.
Yeah, we'll have to. Well, maybe he's so slow that he can make it on.
That's terrible. That's wrong.
I know, but like I'm trying to think.
Yeah, so that's another weird thing with the LP files is that it looks like it should be just a straight line in, and for whatever reason the AI do this. I think that's them maybe on the brakes trying to slow it down. I really don't know.
Oh
but,
my goodness!
Yeah, they kind of like it's like a serpentine in.
It's impressive that the cars don't lose grip and just hit a wall.
Yeah, the cars don't have grip going through the chicanes, but they have grip to do this.
I don't understand how it makes any sense. Look at these guys.
Yeah, Montreal's a weird track in NR. We'll just say that.
It is. It really
track.
is. All right. Well, let's see how these guys blend in. I think that'll be an interesting thing, as the guys who pitted are still coming around. As
where is Nathan at? There he is.
He's right there. There he is.
He's so far ahead.
Oh,
he's already going through that final chicane.
He's going to be fine. We're going to be more curious about Gabe Willard and Keegan Thompson and all them.
Yep.
So we'll see when he leaves. Should be any second now.
Yep. And luckily for the guys that are on pit road here is that when you're coming off, you have a straighter shot out. Right? These guys are going through a chicane. You're just coming straight out. So a good stop for Rodriguez. Might get him out in second place. Now the problem is he's on colder tires. So he has to get them up to tire temperature while Gabe Willard has his tires up to temperature. So it might be good for Rodriguez. He's far enough ahead. Problem for Bryce Egan is that, yeah, he got out in third place. Very good pit stop. But Gabe Willard's now all over his back bumper.
Right. So we'll have to see how much Willard is held up by Egan here, as it seems like everyone else is forming into line nice and evenly. And this is going to be a fun group to watch right here, as a group of 4 cars are all together. Half of them, I believe, are cold tires. The other half aren't, as Martinelli sends it to the inside.
And he makes it stick. Meanwhile, Bryce Egan did get passed by Gabe Willard. So Willard got third. As Stapleton's up the road, Rodriguez is in second. Bryce Egan will be fourth. Keegan Thompson back to fifth on his pit stop. Still inside the top 5, but he fell from second. Martinelli's going to be sixth. Philip Torrey's up to seventh. What a run through the field it's been for the driver of the 77. Eighth is going to be Lathan Strickland. Crown Jr. 9th and Chris Jericho 10th, it looks like. Matt Tuck is 11th. Max Davis 12th. Riley Spurgeon's going to be 13th. Laura Chung 14th. Jacob Miller 15th. Levi Schoen 16th. Ryan Wilson 17th, DeLello 18th, Jerry Chen 19th, Jordan Stout in 20th. Jack Haas 21st. Terrible stop for the 38 crew. He's all the way back outside the top 20 now. He was inside the top 10. So bad stop for Justin Zeidel in that number 38.
All right. So those pit stops and penalties are out of the way now, Joe. We got a race to the finish here. What are we going to do?
Race for the win?
How's this? Well, race for second place here.
9 seconds Nathan Stapleton has over Brian Rodriguez.
How do we think this is going to work?
Well, I think Stapleton's going to take it easy these final 8 laps. Now, this is not going to be easy. This is a great battle for 5th. Martinelli's going to try and take it from Bryce Egan here, who's going to have the grip on the outside. Egan struggled here. Remember, he got up to 3rd. I'm wondering, did he take 2 tires on pit road? He gained a lot of time, and now he's kind of struggling. I just don't know if he's struggling to get them up to temp or if he maybe took 2 tires.
I don't know. We'll have to, I feel like we've been seeing strong cars here today, Joe, and then all of a sudden they just start slowing down as Philip Torres is going to attempt to pass Bryce Egan, and I think Egan might be another one of those cars who just starts to struggle as the race goes on because he is not looking like he has the speed that he had before here, Joe. It does not seem like either the tires are getting up to temp or he just, for some reason, lost power, and I don't understand what the issue could be because this will be the 3rd car if that is the case.
Martinelli's up to temp, and he is going after Keegan Thompson. That would be for 4th place. So this number 94 looks pretty strong at the moment. And look, he's going to make a dive into the hairpin. That was a big move under braking to make that move to the right. But Keegan's going to have a little bit better grip now off of the corner. So Martinelli's going to have to get back in line. But it was an attempt for Drew Martinelli trying to catch Keegan Thompson off guard. It just didn't quite work out the way he was probably envisioning when he started to make that move.
Yeah, so now he's going to have to gather his stuff back up here and try to make another attempt on Keegan Thompson at some point this lap. Joe, he's got the speed. He's going to look here, but twice about it. I don't think that's the best passing zone to try to get that done. So good idea not to commit to that.
Yeah, isn't that like the Wall of Champions over there that's caught out so many drivers over the F1 years? And wow, Nathan Stapleton just opened up that lead by a 1.5 seconds that last lap.
Yeah, Joe, there's you want to talk about something possibly different with that engine under my cars? I want to look at Stapleton's car there because there's something crazy about that thing.
Yeah, that car is it's flying out there. I mean, it doesn't matter who gets to 2nd. Stapleton is pulling away from them by, hand over fist. It's not just like, oh, I got a 10th that lap. He's like, I gained a 1.5 seconds in 1 lap. Just casually, too. Casually.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you even make of that, Joe.
Look at that lunge. That was a lunge out of Jude
I don't know if there was contact there or not.
If there wasn't, it was Keegan noticing at the last second that 94 was somehow going to be there. And Drew Martinelli's getting up to 4th right there. What a drive there for that number 94. Puts Thompson back to 5th. Torres in 6th. Bryce Egan, he kind of fell back into a rhythm now. He's 7th. So whatever that issue was for that lap or two, kind of resolved now.
I mean, unless maybe he could have overheated the tires trying to push too much on his out lap and his 2nd lap out. Now his car is back to happy. I don't know what could have been the issue there, but like you mentioned, Joe, seems like he has the pace back up and going. We'll have to see if he can make up the ground that he lost there.
What a day for Vision Motorsports. They have Bryce Egan up in 7th, Matt Tuck in 10th, and Max Davis in 11th, and they didn't start all that great, so they're having a good day, but, I mean, Honor Island Motorsports having just as good, if not better of a day, right? You have Stapleton up in the lead, dominating this race. You have Philip Torres in 6th. Laura Chung is now starting to move up. She's bound for 13th with Roberto Crown Jr. So, I mean, Honor Island Vision Motorsports, they're the two that are going to be battling for this this team championship, the owners championship. But Honor Island, see Bryce Perdue pitting. Obviously, he had that issue, came down early. He was maintaining his track position, but now he's going to have to lose it. But Honor Island pulled away to a big gap early on. Vision Motorsports has finally started to come into their own, but are they too far back now to mount a charge to Honor Island, who just keeps matching what Vision Motorsports is able to do, no matter how impressive their weekends are?
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to see how all of that develops here, and you would think it goes hand in hand, right? But who really knows? As looking again at Jude Martinelli, he has finally caught 3rd place there of Gabe Willard, and he's going to try to set up a pass there, Joe. And honestly, if he can get it done quickly, he's going to have enough time to get up to 2nd place of Brian Rodriguez. And we'll have to see what all develops here. But, Joe, that 94, whatever they did on the pit stops is cruising right now.
I was going to say, Jude Martinelli has a great shot for 2nd place here. He was not not that long ago, back where Keegan Thompson was, like a lap ago. And now here he is on the bumper of Gabe Willard. Really look for a pass into this hairpin. I think he knows better. He knew it didn't work against Keegan. So he's saying, all right, let's just wait. Right, you can see even there a little bit of wheel hop maybe getting into the hairpin. Keegan Thompson still hanging tough in 5th. Under fire from Philip Torres, who really, started outside the top 10 and has marched up. Chris Jericho got a spot from Lathan Strickland up to 8th place. The driver of the 54 making moves. He started, about 13th place, so +5 for the 54 driver. Not a bad day, especially at a road course like this where you don't start all that well. Make the most of it. He's up inside the top 10 right now.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen some drivers falter and some drivers gain throughout this race, and that's the fun part about a road course is that you never know what's going to happen. It's all about endurance and just constant. What's the word? Not constant. What's the word I'm looking for, Joe? It starts with a C. Consistency. That's the one.
Consistency. There it is.
Wow, that was a struggle.
Someone who is consistent is Jude Martinelli. Oh, he may have messed up the chicane right there as I mentioned that. But 5 laps to go. He's on the bumper. He was pressuring Gabe Willard there. I thought he was maybe going to have a shot into maybe his favorite passing corner up here. I think he's too far back to make a lunge. But we'll see. He's looking to try and do it. He was about a car length or so too far back to make it work. But he's close enough if he can get a good enough run on one of these corners. He has to make it work now, though, because Brian Rodriguez is starting to pull away a little bit. And can't let the 62 get too far away. Otherwise, then, it's going to take a lap or so to try and pass. Here we go. Into this chicane. Jude Martinelli is going to look for a pass. So, can he make it work? I think he can.
He's going to get it right here, Joe. He's finally able to make the pass. Now he's got his eyes set on one driver, and one driver only because the other one's way too far out in front. That's the 62 of Brian Rodriguez. Will he have enough laps to catch him and then pass him?
Well, we haven't seen this driver in a while. There he is. All by himself. Nathan Stapleton has 11 seconds.
Where is he at on the? Oh, he's just now entering that. Okay.
Do you think he's looking out the city of Montreal as he goes down that back straight, looking out to the left and seeing all those tall buildings?
Probably singing to himself, in all honesty, Joe. Probably a little bored. Talking to his crew chief or spotter, telling them a story or something, just kind of marking laps away. And this crazy part is that he's still gaining time while doing that.
Yeah, he just gained another 0.6 that last lap. It's going to be a 12-second lead in just a few moments. Here's Matt Tuck. He just got by Lathan Strickland for 9th. So he continues his march through the field just like Chris Jericho has. That's +7 spots for Matt Tuck here today. Impressive drive for the driver of the number 11. Jude Martinelli is catching Brian Rodriguez. And I think if Martinelli would have been the one to be in second place all race instead of the Tucson cars, maybe he could have kept it closer to Nathan Stapleton. But that's just not how it worked out. I do want to give a call to Jerry Chen as Martinelli looks for a pass on Rodriguez right there too far back. Keegan Thompson can make a pass right here. That would be for 4th place on Gabe Willard. But Jerry Chen started this race in 26th place, outside the top 20. He's moved up through, passing and some pit strategy. He's up to 16th place, kind of all by himself. He's 4.5 seconds behind the next guy, and 2 seconds up the road of the guy behind him. So he's gained 10 spots in this race, and not going to keep the points because Nathan Stapleton, the guy second in points, is dominating this race. He's going to have a max points if it stays like this. But Jerry Chen is limiting the loss in a day where really he could have lost a lot.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. As Joe, that took... Oh, my goodness!
What a dive for Bryce Egan for 6th place. Yeah, I think he might make it work here. If not, he's going to stay side by side with them. Oh, Torres just had too much of a run.
Where did that come from? He was like 3 car lengths back by the time he committed to that.
Yeah, that was it was scary for a moment, but
it was very ambitious.
No one else is trying stuff like that.
No, I think he might win the award for the biggest dive of the day.
Yeah, that was good. Well, 3 to go for Nathan Stapleton. Now 3 to go for these guys. The gap was 12 seconds. It's now 12.4. So another half a second gained for Nathan Stapleton. Just every lap, he's taken big chunks away from everyone else. Jude Martinelli is going to be the one fighting with Brian Rodriguez for a second. He has 3 laps to get around the driver of the number 62. The scoreboard is scrolling at the top left of the screen, so you can look and see where you are running at the moment and who might be around you. And it's been a pretty clean race here at Montreal, Trey, all things considered. I know Brian Spiritu had some issues, had to come down pit road, now he had to come down again. Eli Bright has a mechanical issue, and we had the lap 1 incident in turn 1 with William Seaman. But otherwise, it's been a clean Montreal race, very different from what we saw the last time we were here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that's a good thing. We like to forget about the last time we were here, Joe. We don't want to remember that.
No, we do not.
What I'm going to be curious of is if and when Jude Martinelli can pass Rodriguez here, he can cut into the lead a little bit. Was Jude Martinelli the one that could have maybe battled Stapleton if he got out in clean air and before Stapleton was a whole half a lap ahead of everyone else?
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if he gets that clean air. If Jude Martinelli gets that clean air, would he have been able to do something? I don't know. Battle for 10th could be heating up. Max Davis catching up to Lathan Strickland. Laura Chung's been flying on this run of the race. Remember, she was mired back in like 16th or so. She's up to 12th now. So she's been passing cars left and right. Levi Schoen's had a solid day in 14th. Crown Jr.'s kind of struggled. In fact, it's been we had mentioned EKH Enterprises early on. Maybe this is where the commentator jinx comes into play. But we had said, all three cars are still running where they started. They've done really well. And now they have no cars inside the top 10, even though all three of them started there. Rise for Gibbs issues. Crown Jr. a little bit slower through the middle part of this race, and then obviously Zidell with a very slow pit stop. But 2 to go. This battle for second is really heating up. Ooh, Martinelli goes wide. Is that to get some more grip off of the exit of turn 2 here? He gets a little bit of a run. Can he make anything into this chicane? I don't know. If he's close enough, he cannot. We'll see if he can save it for another part of the lap.
It was a good idea there, Joe. It looked like he might put that in the bank here for the last couple of laps, but like you mentioned, is it going to be enough time by the time he can't set it up again, or is it going to have to be a different corner?
You looked there. That's, once again, one of his favorite passing opportunities on the track, but just nothing to do with it there. Can he look down this straightaway? If we were in F1, DRS would be open for Jude Martinelli, and he'd be gaining and gaining and gaining. Now he just has the draft to try and help him propel him forward, and maybe a little bit better braking abilities, but not quite close enough. He'll have to stay behind Rodriguez for another lap or so. He'll have to try somewhere else over the final lap. In fact, now Rodriguez really pulled away. It was a bad chicane for Jude Martinelli. Rodriguez gets a gap. That's what he wanted over the 94. Keegan Thompson all by him lonesome in 4th place. The battle is on for 5th. Gabe Willard trying to fend off Philip Torres, who has been carving a path through the field, trying to get a top 5 at the end of this one. Bryce Egan just behind Torres. Then you have Jericho and Matt Tuck. And the battle for 10th is still between Lathan Strickland and Max Davis. As we go back through the rest, everyone kind of holding station at the moment. No one able to, it's hard now. The tires are really starting to wear out, and all the lights, the field is really spread out over the course of this run. There's Stapleton. He took the white flag. He has 13 seconds over the battle for second between Brian Rodriguez and Jude Martinelli. It's been a flawless day for Nathan Stapleton. The only laps he has not led today were the 2 that Rodriguez led in the middle of green flag pit cycles. He has a 13-second advantage over this battle for second place, Trey.
Well, he's going to have one more lap here to try and pass, as he's going to do it again, Joe. Will it work out better this time? It looks like he went for a little bit of a wider middle there. He's going to get the run. I don't think he's going to be able to get there again, though, Joe.
He'll have to try another chicane then.
He pushed it wide. It's another bad one.
Yeah.
Well,
that might have been all she wrote for second place for Jude Martinelli. If it stays, look out! He's going to try a dive here on the final lap. He got into him.
There? Maybe? No?
I think he hit him.
That might not be a best thing to do there, Joe, but
it's not over.
Made the pass.
It's not over.
He made the pass.
He did that second. I was going to say, before he did his desperation attempt, if it stayed like it did, that was going to be the second straight points race. Our drivers finished second and third in the order of you second, me third. But Martinelli decided he wanted to take second right there, and he did take it from Brian Rodriguez. Literally took it from the driver of the number 62. Philip Torres got the 5th around Gabe Willard, who is getting swallowed up. Bryce Egan's gotten around him. Jericho's trying to get around him. Matt Tuck. Here comes Lathan Strickland trying to get 9th from Matt Tuck. Max Davis there trying to get inside the top 10. Meanwhile, here comes Stapleton to the checkered flag. He dominates and bores the crowd by winning in the NAPA Auto Parts 300. Jude Martinelli is going to come to the final chicane. He'll take second from Brian Rodriguez, who will end up in third. Thompson 4th. Torres 5th. Egan with a topsy-turvy last lap gets to 6th. Jericho 7th. Willard from 5th is going to go all the way back to 8th. Lathan Strickland, a bonsai move, will get 9th. Matt Tuck will fall to 10th at the checkered flag.
There was a lot that happened there.
Jerry Chen was trying to get inside the top 15 at the end. He just came up a few tenths short from Roberto Crown Jr. there at the checkered flag. He was getting close too.
Oh my goodness, Joe. That was absolute domination by one driver and one driver only, really. I mean, Keegan Thompson did lead a couple of laps at the start, but he never really pulled away. And once this 75 got out front, I mean, he was he was in a race of his own. It was like we were racing two different classes.
Yeah, he was in like the Daytona prototypes. Everyone else was in like a GTD or something. I don't know, but
Yeah. I would even say that they were racing like Miatas compared to
yeah,
him, Joe. It was incredible.
it was incredible. Nathan Steelton had himself quite a day here in Montreal. He made his one trip out of the United States here this season. He made it count, and he's now gotten his first win of the season. He should be the points leader now with Jerry Chen finishing outside the top 15. It's all going right for Nathan Steelton here today, so that's now 11 winners in 13 races. We'll see if that continues, and we've kind of been on a trend of dominating wins as of late. Laura Chung pulled away at New Hampshire. Matt Tuck pulled away at Vermont. Nathan Steelton really pulls away here at Montreal. As we'll get back, and Trey we'll get the final thoughts from the Napa Auto Parts 300. I do want to bring up when that white flag flew, the gap from Stapleton to Martinelli was about 12.9 seconds. Even though Martinelli had to pass Brian Rodriguez for about half a lap, he still ended up 12.9 seconds back. So maybe Jude Martinelli was the thing that we needed to try and catch Nathan Stipton. The unfortunate part was he started way too far back, and he had to make his way through the traffic, and he just couldn't do that in a timely manner.
Yeah, so it would have been interesting to see what would have happened, but unfortunately, it'll have to wait for another road course.
Yep, yes, we will. As we'll now go take a look at the finishing results. So here's how they finished in the Napa Auto Parts 300. Absolute domination for Nathan Stipton, wins by nearly 13 seconds over his nearest rival. Jude Martinelli had to come through some guys, though. He ends up in second place here today with the last lap send on Brian Rodriguez. He falls back to third. Keegan Thompson fourth, and Philip Torres bookends the top five for Otter Island Motorsports. Benny Watson's team will continue their dominance in terms of the owner's standings. Bryce Egan ends up in sixth here today. He made some big moves on the last lap. Chris Jericho right behind him in seventh, so Tucson Racing, we were talking about Vision Motorsports and Otter Island here today, how great they were doing. Well, Tucson Racing got all three cars inside the top 7. Impressive drive for them. Gabe Willard, the only bright spot for Southern Cross Racing here today, ends up in 8th. Lathan Strickland, Fos Autosport had a very good day as well. 3 cars inside the top 13. Strickland 9th, Matt Tuck in 10th. His teammate Max Davis chased him to the checkered flag, but ends up in 11th. Laura Chung in 12th. Jacob Miller in 13th. So, kind of interesting to see this is that inside the top 13, you had Otter Island all 3, you had all 3 Fos, you had all 3 Toussaint, and all 3 Vision. The only anomaly was Southern Cross Racing, who is maybe one of the top 5 teams as well. So we're starting to see which teams have it, which teams don't. And I think the top 13, 12 of the 13 being from 4 teams, speaks for itself. Those are the 4 teams right now that a lot of drivers or a lot of guys are going to be looking at in terms of what to base off of. Points there, Jerry Chen ends up in 16th. Solid day for him. We look below the top 20. Bad day on pit road for Justin Zeidel's crew. They're going to want that one back. Running inside the top 10, but faltered to finish in 24th here today. Anthony Harris, winner the last time we're at a road course. He ends up 25th. Didn't have the track position. Didn't really have the car to make it work here today. And William Seaman, he finishes 33rd, recovers from that first lap incident, which sent him back to 42nd, so he gained some spots there throughout the rest of the race. And bad days for Riley Spurley-Tube, who finished 2 laps down with whatever issues he had, and Eli Bright blew up out of the Napa Auto Parts 300. Now we take a look at the points. 13 races in, we're nearing the race to the chase. Stapleton now the points leader, 9 top 10s on the season, 7 top 5s. That's the most of anyone in both categories. He's up by 12 over Jerry Chen, 14 over Brian Rodriguez, 19 over Laura Chung. You have to think that those 4 feeling comfortable. They've been the fearsome 4 this season in terms of the points, and you have to think that they're feeling pretty comfortable when it comes to making the chase. Max Davis now up to 5th. He gains a spot over Jack Haas, who drops to 6th, but still close to the top 5. They have Bryce Egan in 7th, Gabe Willard in 8th, Keegan Thompson 9th. Great point stage for all 3 of those guys. And Riley Spurrier, his bad point stage drops him from 7th to 10th and only 12 points clear of now Jude Martinelli, who is 11th. So Martinelli moving up nicely in points. His teammate Lathan Strickland right behind him in 12th. It's very close there to try and get inside the top 10. Crown Jr., Philip Torres, Eli Bright all inside the top 15. Welcome to the top 20 for Matt Tuck and Chris Jericho, up to 18th and 19th in points. They're actually tied for that spot. And Matt Tuck trying to continue his quest up towards the top 10 to try and maybe not take up a wildcard spot and just point his way in no matter what happens. So Zidell, the final spot inside the top 20, has it by a point over Jordan Stout in 21st. And now the team points, 13 races in, Otter Island, Toussaint Racing, and Vision Motorsports in a class of their own. They're the only 3 teams above 1,000 points. Otter Island leads by 90 points over Toussaint, and then Vision Motorsports not all that far back. They're just about 98 points back. So Trey, final thoughts from Montreal. We had Nathan Stapleton absolutely dominate. Now he's the points leader. Things are starting to shift in terms of how the points are looking.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was just an absolute master class and straight up Stapleton, you could say, embarrassing the rest of the field, right? I mean, that was incredible. It was a 13-second win for him and everyone else kind of just battling out for second. But overall, very good race and clean race for road course standards, at least from what we've experienced from in the past. So I don't think you could really complain about this one.
Yeah, earlier this season at Road America, there were like, 6 or 7 incidents that we had to go back and catch throughout the race. And here today, we had that lap 1 incident with Seaman. Otherwise, we were completely clean. So good job on the drivers getting around this tricky road course cleanly. And we'll look and see how they can do the next time out on JRTV. It's going to be a fun one. It's one of my favorite races of any season. It's the World 600 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a long race. It's a grueling race. And these 42 drivers are ready to try and win one of the crown jewels in the DeWalt Cup Series. And oh, by the way, after the Charlotte race, top 20 in points are locked into the in-season tournament. So that'll be fun. And then 2 weeks' time is Pocono. That's basically the race to get into the in-season tournament. Anyone below the top 20 in points gets put in a head-to-head matchup, and the winners of those head-to-head matchups move into the tournament there. So it'll be a fun one, but next time out, Charlotte, the World 600, that's going to be a fun one. It's a long one. It's a gruesome one, but it's one that both Trey and I will be able to enjoy with how great Charlotte is and how great the World 600 is. But today, let's talk about Nathan Stapleton and Benny Watson's team, Otter Island Motorsports, as Stapleton claims a dominant victory in the NAPA Auto Parts 300. Congratulations to he and the 75 team on winning. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long from Montreal.